Hello and welcome to another video in the C Sharp's Basic Fast tutorial series. Today we're going to be looking at the if statement, and while I'm explaining what the if statement does, we're going to be creating a program. So the program I'm going to create today to use the if statement is a very basic login sort of thing, you could call it. So it's going to ask for a password, you type in the password, and if you get the password right, it does something else, logs you in, I suppose you could say, even though you're not really logging into anything. This is building on the previous two videos, which will be linked at the end of the video. So first of all, we are going to create our password. So like I did in the previous video, we need a string, and we're going to call it password. And so the password is going to be shed. So now we've created our password. So now we need to use the if statement. So an if statement works by checking if something is equal to something else. So what we first need to do is we need to tell the user to type something in. So as we learnt in the previous video, we need to write console.writeLine, and we are going to write what's the password. And then we need a new string for what the user has entered. So we're going to create a string called entry, and then that's not equal to anything at the moment. So now we obviously need to read what the user has done. So we do entry equals console.readline. So now we've read in what the user has entered, and we are storing it in the variable entry. So now we need to actually check if the password is correct. So now here's where we actually use the if statement. So if, then we open brackets and put the two things that we are comparing. So if password is equal to, and an important thing to know is when we're checking if something's equal to something else, we use two equal sign, because one equal sign on its own means that is something else. So if you see here, we've got password is equal to shed, but if we have a double equal things, we're saying if what password is equal to something else. It's a bit complicated, but you get used to it. So if our password is equal to entry, then so we don't have a semicolon because that's not the end of the line. So now we open our braces. So this contains all of our code that will run if the if statement is true. So we're going to do a console.writeLine, and we're going to tell the user correct password. You are now logged in. I mean, probably most of you know that you're not actually logged into anything, but that's just what we'll say. And now we'll put a semicolon there because that is the end of that line, and that is the end of the if. So we break out of our bracket, our braces. So if we run this program now and have a look at it, and we can see if there's anything else we need to do. Okay, so what's the password? Well, we know that the password is shed. So if we press enter, it closes because it displays that, and then closes, as we probably remember from the previous video. So to stop it closing, we need to do a console.readline at the end, or just console.read. And now we can try it again, and it won't close on us. So if we type in the correct password, which is shed, we get correct password, you are now logged in. So now we need to try it with an incorrect password. So it doesn't really matter, we'll put George. And if we press enter, nothing will happen because the if statement hasn't fired, it hasn't executed anything, so it's just sat there waiting, it hasn't done anything. So we need obviously something to work if the password isn't equal to that. So because this is part of the same thing, we don't just use another if statement, we use an else if statement. So it means it does this, and if that's not right, then it tries this. So it's very similar to an if statement, it's just pretty much with else at the beginning. So if password, so now if password doesn't equal what the user entered, then we run some code. And how code does not equal in C# is we do an exclamation mark equals, so that it means not equals, and then we put obviously entry. And then we open our braces, sorry, and now we can copy our previous code but change the wording slightly. So password incorrect, and then we'll change that to you are not logged in, and then we'll run our program. What's the password? Well, we know it's shed, but I've already shown you that. So now we'll try an incorrect password. I'll use the same as I did before, George, and now it says incorrect password. Oh, you not logged in. We'll change that to you are logged in because we want correct grammar in our programs. And then I'll just prove that the program still works. Incorrect password, you are not logged in. So there we go. That is the end of today's tutorial. If you enjoyed this video, then please like and subscribe, and comment if you want to. The next video will be on while loops, so hopefully that'll come out soon. Bye.